Hello to my true crime family. Today I'm going to talk about Kylie's case once again. I'm so mad about this case, and she's just not getting justice, and it's not right. So the first person I'd like to talk about is James Smith. This is Sammy's dad. And let me say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So first thing I'm going to talk about is his arrest record. This man has quite the arrest record, and there are things that just don't make sense to me. So he had 19 arrests. 8 have case numbers, the county that the case was in, and a citation number, and that's it. It's like it's all white. Then he has a DWI level 2 on 12/24 of 94. He was convicted. That was on, okay, the first one, the DUI level 2 is 4/24 of 98. I'm sorry. And then on 12/24 of 94, he was convicted of intoxication and disruptive. On 1/4 of 95, he received a DWI level 5. He spent 60 days in jail for that one. On July the 2nd of 94, he had another intoxication and disruptive arrest. On 8/30 of 91, he had another intoxication and disruptive arrest. On 3/29 of 91, he had another intox and disruptive arrest, and he spent 4 days in jail. Now, I've also been researching some of his background, and let me see, where am I going to start with this? Okay. Excuse me. And it said from 1990 to 2003, he lived at 10033 Harley Leeton Road in Redding, California. It just says there's no current ownership, no lot. That was also in Shasta County. Shasta County is coming up a lot lately. I have another video coming about that. And I don't remember her whole YouTube name, but it's Brittany. And she's awesome, and you should go over to her channel. She's got a heart of gold, and CNY also. They're amazing as well. But anyhow, Shasta County is really shady right now too. So like I said, 1980 to 2003, he lived at 10033 Harley Leeton Road. Okay, there's no current ownership, there's no lot, there's no building details, there's no assessed value. So there are other, right below that, these are not his addresses, but I was kind of questioning this address because there were no assessed values and all that. So I wanted to see what the next address, which is 10034, because I was thinking, well, maybe this is like an apartment complex, but I wasn't sure. So I went to 10034, and it's a single family dwelling, and this is another property trust. And it is the Talents Family Property Trust. And then if you go to 10039, that is the same thing as 10033. There's no details, no ownership, no assessment value. So then I went to 100, let's see, 10052. And that one has 4 deeds, and they're valued at $78,000 to $549,000. And that is also owned by the Tollins Property Trust, the same as the 10034. And then if you go to 1025, that's also another trust, and it was purchased at $45,000. And oh my goodness, I can't read that. It's another family trust. I can't read the name. Okay, so then you go to 10009, and these are all Lighton Road, Harley Lighton Road in Redding, California, Shasta County. That is valued at $35,000, and I have the names of the owners, but this is a single family resident, and it is a mobile home. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm so confused. So that's all confusing. You see how there's trusts in there, and the one place has 4 deeds at $78,000 all the way up to $549,000. So, and then you have a trailer right there. What? That's kind of weird. But anyhow, so 10026 is a single family townhouse, and it has 7 deeds from $21,500 to $460,000. So number 10034 is a single family dwelling, and it's a townhouse, and it's owned by the Bush Property Trust. There's all these trusts. I've never seen so many. Okay, so then in 1994 to 2003, Mr. Smith lived at 126 South 29th Street in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The property was bought in May of '83, and I'm assuming Mr. Smith rented it while he was there from 1994 to 2003. Now, remember, he was also had a residence at 10033 Harley Leeton Road from 1980 to 2003. So he had the place in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for part of the time, a long time, from 94 to 2003 in Harris, Pennsylvania. So that's kind of confusing. And then in, let's see, he lived at 1436 Tyrol Road in Truckee, and he lived there from 1997 to 2004. So he had 3 addresses during that time frame, give or take a few years, right? It says that one was purchased in 1999 by a person. So this is so confusing. And then right now he's living at 11225 Huntsman Leap. Him and his wife Cindy are on the deeds for a property valued at $449,001. So I'm still gonna dig deeper with him, because I think there's something up with water rights with this guy, although we're learning more and more every day. Now, there's one of my subscribers had sent me some information, which I didn't know anything about it. I learned about this about a month ago, and I had been, searching, Truckee. I've been searching Jagger Westfall and all these different things, then find, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Sami Smith, Sammy Bono, because there's some shady stuff with him too, because they own an entertainment business. So I've been looking into that as well. But then, so it's called Google Trends. So you go onto Google Trends and you put, what you want to look up in Google Trends. And I had been looking up everybody but Kylie and, trying to see, if people were trending before this all went down. I looked up some law enforcement, and I also looked up some politicians in that area. But then finally, I looked up Kylie and found some really interesting information. So, like I said, you go to Google Trends, and then you put in the information that you want to put in there. And you can be specific, and it takes a while to learn how to use it, but don't give up. You just might have to be a little more specific with your searches. So like I put in Kylie Rodney, what did I put? Kylie Rodney, July the 6th, and that was 1 month before she passed. July the 6th, 2022. I had to do it a few different times. And then, let's see. Okay, so then once you put that in, it'll bring up charts for you. And I have pictures of them, and as soon as I just got my phone, so I started answering all your comments, and I will keep on going because there's a lot, but that's okay. That's how I got this information. And so I really appreciate it, any kind of help I can get. Like I said, I have my app, my Mac laptop that I haven't even started learning how to use yet because I've been so busy. Anyhow, with that all said, go to Google Trends and put your information in, and then once that you put your information that you want to find, it's how many times it was searched on particular days, particular months. It will give you graphs, and you can even break it down to you can take it worldwide, or you can do just the United States. You can do certain states, how many times like I did, how many times Kylie came up in Google. And it was very interesting because what I found was you can put in specific areas, like I said. So okay, so once I put her information in, I saw that she had been searched intensely. And it wasn't just when she became missing. And that's the weird part. The weirdest part is that she was searched before she came missing, and she's not a star or anything, she's not a musician yet. I mean, she doesn't have a name. She doesn't put out albums or anything. She's not a movie star or anything. So I was shocked. And like I said, I have pictures of these graphs on my phone that I'm going to have my son or my grandson help me figure out how I can share those with you. I did get my phone back, but it's messing up a little bit. So you'll just have to bear with me. I'm getting there. anyhow, for the month that she went missing, there were so many searches, and so I kind of wanted to narrow it down. So like the main places were Truckee and Tahoe. Let's see, and then that would be Nevada and California if you wanted to go by state. Okay, so what was very interesting for me was that in 2022, before she went missing, she was searched many times. And the major places that searched her, first I went worldwide, and it was one of the places that was, outside of the United States was Peking. And if you know, and I can't remember which video it was, you'll have to go back and check it out. But I talked about how, the Mexican cartels, they're up there and they're causing havoc in these areas. And we know that they are, well, at least I believe, and these are all my own opinions. Everything that I found in public information, which anyone can find. And this is for entertainment purposes, but not really, because this is sad, and, we all want answers. So, we all have to put our stuff together and network. I think that's the best thing we can do. So back to this, I'm sorry. Something very interesting, which was from 2022, when she went missing. So Peking is another cartel area, and we know that Sunshine Fowler has ties to China with her business. And the other place was really big, was Puerto Rico. That's part of the United States, but they were searching her intensely for a person that, is from Truckee, California, and she's a 16-year-old girl. Why were there so many searches, the month before she went missing? I'm not getting that. The other place that was really big, that was searching her was, and this is weird, DC, Rhode Island, and Idaho. 2 weeks before she went missing, it looked like Washington, DC had been looking her up. Like I said, Puerto Rico, Alaska, Colombia. It's just, I don't get it. It just really makes you scratch your head, and like, how big is this really? I'm not getting it. Let's see, what's she? Yeah, she's not a famous person. There were even places like Wyoming and Nebraska searching her. So, okay, guys, we all know we're on the right track, right? We do. We know something isn't right, and we're all on the right track, and we're not giving up on her. And I'm so thankful for all the channels that aren't giving up on her. I would like to spend a little bit more time on this case, but every time you open your phone, there's a new case. There's the Cabo 6 and that poor girl. Then there is the Idaho 4, and that's a nightmare. And what the heck is law enforcement doing? Jeez. And I didn't have a chance to check, but this morning I had an Amber Alert for a little girl down in Texas, 7-year-old. She went missing last night, and it got as cold as 28 or 23 degrees last night in Texas from the area she was from. And she and her stepmother got into an argument, and then the stepmother said she went to her room and she was making dinner and she disappeared. And I'm praying very hard that they found her, but if not, there's another child. We're gonna be another 7-year-old child, and it's a girl, and what is going on? So we know we're on the right track with Kylie. I'm sorry for digressing. Please forgive me. Now, some things are coming together, right? We're putting things together, and there's no one that's going to change our mind on our beliefs and our thoughts, right? So I'm not out here telling you this is a fact. This is my opinion in this case, because we don't know any facts from this case, because everything that law enforcement has given us is false. And they haven't given us anything. I mean, most, law enforcement agencies will come out and give you updates. You're seeing it in the news with Idaho. You're seeing it in the news with, the Mexico thing. And this law enforcement, these law enforcement agencies think they have their own rules, and they're going to get a rude awakening, because, they are being looked at. So, we have to keep pushing, because I know for a fact that they are being looked at. And I can't really say anymore. Just have faith. So I'm going to go back to the beginning a bit. The liar, Sami Smith, said this was a huge party and it was very scary. Oh my, it was so scary. It was so scary that she wanted to stay longer, right? This is a lie. We know that it's a lie, that there were not 300 to 400 people there, and it wasn't scary, or you wouldn't have stayed. You made it scary. Sami Smith made it scary, because she's involved in the misfortune of what happened. In some way, you are. It is said that she became so inebriated. She was just so drunk. But in the beginning, what did they say? Oh, she was always the designated. Get your story straight, okay? She was so inebriated, and she just drove herself into the lake from the very, very back of her car. Well, first of all, she was in the very back of her car, right? The very, very back of her car. And all the seats were up. Remember that, okay? And she drove herself into the lake. Now, I want you to think about the back of that vehicle where she was laying. That vehicle measures approximately 37 inches, right? It does, look it up. If you go back to the flyer that her family made, and remember, she just got her driving permit, okay? So this information is probably quite accurate, because her parents and her family put it out. So if you look at the flyer, and there's a ton of them because I double checked it. She was 5'7", which is 67 inches. 67 inches. And what was the measurement of the back of that area that supposedly she was found in? Somebody was found in. 37 inches. So she would have to be almost, folded in half, because she was 67 inches. She was squished in there. She is almost twice the size of the very back of that vehicle. Also, remember that seatbelt that was hanging out to hold that person in. Notice I say that person, because I do not believe that Kylie was in that car. I don't believe it was Kylie. I just don't. That's just my opinion. Remember, Kylie just, oh, I already told you that. Okay, let me see here. Yes, okay. So the information on the flyer was quite accurate. 5'7", 67 inches. Her weight was 115 pounds. And what did the autopsy say? 5'5", 65 inches, 103 pounds. She would be so underweight. Oh man. Also, this person, Kylie, was not intoxicated. The ethanol levels of this person would most definitely come from decomposition fluid. Also, if you're no longer alive, your body can't metabolize anything because you're no longer alive. So keep that in mind. That means nothing. This was not Kylie. We know that, okay, so we also know that Squirrel Girl, which I love her, she is a saint, and Nick believed that she was also. That's why he reached out to her. So we know that Squirrel Girl spoke to Nick, the roadside assistance fella. He said that, where am I? I lost my place. He said that it just kept bothering him, and he so wanted to talk to Kylie's mom and tell her what he knew, but that's why he finally reached out to Squirrel Girl, and he said that he was definitely 100%. He said he would bet $1 million that it was Kylie that morning. That was actually around 11, 12 o'clock when he was called out to do the roadside assistance. I truly believe this. August the 6th, he was called out to Boca. He felt she was acting a little strange, asking strange questions. She may have been a bit disoriented. It appeared that while someone was driving, I don't know if she was driving or the fella, that Nick doesn't know who the fella was. He just described him. So he said he couldn't tell you who that was. So either Kylie was driving or this guy that she was with was driving. And whilst one of those were driving down the road, somebody hit that gear shift and got it caught in between two gears, right? And so that's why Nick was called. He said that it was never, ever in neutral, and that kind of bothered him, and he wanted to clear that up. He also had a major issue with the fire cam video. When Squirrel Girl talked to him about that, he said, how could that be? Because I saw her on August the 6th, and he was adamant about it. He stated there were cameras on the front. He stated that there were cameras on the front and the back of the roadside truck. And there was also audio, and he had GPS coordinates as well. And he went to, he let law enforcement know about this. I think he called them twice, and, they never really got back to him. And when he saw AWP, he was like, hey, I flagged him down and said, hey, I have this story, because it really was bothering him. And so he told those guys about the story. Well, then he asked his boss at work, where is this video? Did you turn it over to law enforcement? And he said, you weren't there, and there was no video. And Nick was like, yeah, I was there. And he's like, you weren't there, and there's no video. And his other boss pretty much said the same thing. And when he called law enforcement, he talked to one law enforcement and they'd get back with him. He talked to another and they said that the FBI was handling it. And I just believe with all my heart that that was Kylie that Nick saw. And I really have a fear that that she may have been trafficked, or, you know, if she was trafficked, I don't want her to go through that, but maybe we can find her and maybe she's still alive. And I can only pray for that. I don't want something else bad to have happened to her, so I'm just going to keep praying. And the other thing that we should be praying about is, you know, in the Bible, our world is so messed up, and in the Bible and, you know, other religions, you know, it says that you should, you know, pray for the troubled. And, you know, maybe that's what we need to do. We always pray for the families that, you know, bad things happen to. What about if we pray to the Lord that he helps those people that have bad thoughts, or they're struggling with mental illness, and maybe if we pray to whoever our God is, that he'll help those people make positive choices instead of negative choices. That's all we can do, right? I mean, nothing else seems to be working in this world. Every day we wake up to horrible, ugly things. Maybe if we pray for them that God helps them, maybe it'll change things. And maybe if we would be good humans to one another and, you know, not judge one another, then maybe some of these things wouldn't happen either. We're very cruel to one another at times, you know. It's like we let jealousy take over our lives, or greed, or hate, or feeling sorry for ourselves because this person may have slighted us, or that person may have slighted us, or they might have more than us. Stop. You know, it's not about materialistic things. It's about the people that love you. And, you know, if we see somebody walking down the street, or, you know, a person, hold the door open for them. And if a person's looking down and they're walking down the street or in a store, you know, maybe they just have no confidence. Maybe if we just say hi or Merry Christmas or something like that, it'll make that person's day. And maybe it's the little things. If we start with little things and try to be more kind to one another, maybe we can change the world. So I hope you have a great day, and I've got a bunch of things I'm working on, and I'll keep trying to put them out to you. Thanks to all my subscribers and everyone that hits like. It keeps the videos in the algorithm, and that's all that matters to me, because I just want these cases solved, and it would be a great Christmas present to me if we could solve these cases and they have positive outcomes. Anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless you all, and I love you all. Thanks for all your support.